Guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Be Different K podcast. It's been a while, it's been a break, but we are back. 2026, yeah. So, welcome, Lukase.
Thank you
How
so
has your
much.
2026 been? The first few days.
The first few days, I think the fact that I'm here,
Yeah.
I just want to look at the camera and say, Mama, I made it. I've always thought about that joke of Mwalimu wa math. Hapa ni wapi?
Hapa ni wapi?
Well,
Yeah.
it has started well. Did fasting, beat, and then took leave.
Oh, nice.
So it just started slow.
Okay.
So it's almost like not rushing to the year.
So you haven't started, you've gone back to work?
I've gone back to work this week.
Oh, nice.
Actually, this is me getting back into work as well.
Nice.
So yeah, pole too.
Oh, welcome. I hope you started your 2026 year well. I've also started it very slow.
Okay.
For some reason, I've been coming to work, but there's a way you can just be laid back. Completely laid back.
You and laid back,
Yes.
those words exist.
Yes, completely laid
Okay.
back, resting.
Okay.
But yeah, this is me. Be different is back. Be different is a form of, it gives back. I think it fills me
Yeah.
instead of draining,
Okay.
Yes, I'm doing it, but it fills my tank. Yeah. So yeah, this is part of laid back.
Good to know.
Yeah. Welcome, Lukase, to Be Different K podcast. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you very
No.
much. My name is Lukase Libamira. I am a husband, a father, a certified drone pilot, a mediator,
Yeah.
certified mediator,
Okay.
and latest, I am an author.
Oh, nice.
The book Men Also Cry.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
How does it feel to sit on this other side of the camera?
Yeah, it feels a bit weird because I'm always on the other side. So right now I'm just like this, that cameraman, that, and then that. So it's almost like okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm also used to being on your shoes where I'm hosting.
Oh.
So being hosted
Yeah.
is just like I need to be humble.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, teach me how to do this. It feels weird actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no. We're just going to have we're just going to talk,
Okay.
to converse. I
That
love.
this is enough.
Yes, Cindy.
Eh,
Yeah, relaxing. You're not on the hot seat.
okay.
So welcome to Be Different. I've had you saying you're an author.
Yeah.
The book Men Also Cry. And yeah, so we are here to talk about Men Also Cry, and we want to hear your story of how you ended up being an author, how you ended up writing. Was it something that you thought you would do one day?
Never in a million years
Yeah.
would I have thought I would have written. I used to believe in that statement of if you want to hide something from Africans, you hide them in a book.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, who could have thought that I've been an author? So a bit of background to my story. In 2023, we lost our first pregnancy, my wife and I.
Yeah.
So it was a difficult period.
Yeah.
And then what happened was I knew I needed help. One of those few men who, when you need help, I'm not afraid to just say.
Okay.
So I looked for help. I went to a counseling session. And have you ever eaten a certain food and when you taste it, you don't like it? So that's what happened in that counseling.
Okay.
I was told things that I was just like, no, this is...
You are shopping for counseling. I've done that before.
Oh, you've done that? So you understand.
I have been dumped by a counselor before.
Are you serious? So the counselor was telling me, no, Lukase, you should not be talk, because I was at acceptance. And she was like, no, you should first be in denial stage. I'm just like, no, I've not denied that my son is gone. I've accepted. And so I just realized, no. So I shopped again. And then I encountered one called Tears Foundation. And that, it was like the game changer for me.
Okay.
So what happened in that counseling session is we are in a group of like 6 to 10 parents.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that I was the only man in that group? The rest were ladies.
Yes, I see it.
I'm sure maybe these ladies might have thought, I can know mama, what are you doing? But I just said, I'm here for myself. So the format is we go through counseling for a whole year. We learn through lessons about grief and all. So I went through it, and then at the end of the year, the grief counselor, shout out to Joyce, she said that Lukase, she challenged me. Lukase, why don't you work with
So you went through the 1 year, you
1 year.
as the only man
As the
in a
only
group
man.
of all these I don't know how many ladies there were, but
let's say 9 ladies.
Okay.
All of them, they've lost a child or children, because somewhere it was multiple. So it was almost like I didn't care if anyone would just look at me, and I'm just like, you're the only man. So just challenged me to start a dad's division. So what was the natural way? To talk to the ladies and then ask them about their husbands, and ask them, could we go through what I've learned?
Okay.
So now the next year, I went through it with the men.
Oh.
It was a few men.
How hard or easy was it, maybe, just to convince? Did you need to do a lot of selling, convincing the men to come?
Yes. In fact, the first man that I tried to convince, because what I did was Tears Foundation sponsored me on Father's Day to take these men wherever we wanted.
Okay.
So I know how men bond. We don't bond at a sitting, tell me about how you feel. We go somewhere.
I was imagining those calls that you were making.
It was
Hi,
hard.
I'm Lukase, you don't know me, and
So
okay,
the
but
calls like, hi, my name is Lukase, I got your number. First I asked the wives to pitch in for me. By the time I'm talking to them, they've done half the job. So that's what happened. And then we went for bowling, and then I bought for them nyama. That's how men talk.
Nice.
We talk over rafting.
Yes.
So yeah, for that 1 year, I found some few men. I think we were like, around 5. We went through it with the men for 1 year. And from my experience, what I went through with the men in 1 month, it was almost equivalent to what you go through with the ladies for 3 months. Let me give you context. The ladies, one day they will explain about how they will feel the baby kicking in their stomach. I don't know about that.
Sure.
Next month, maybe they will explain about how the baby is growing. And me, I don't know that. But on the men's side, 1 month said, when I heard about my son was born, or rather my son was pregnant, my wife was pregnant, immediately I went into the future. And I started thinking about the schools, the dating, what will I teach them? And I was just like, that's exactly what I've been feeling. So you find we talk for almost 3 hours with the men, and this is what it's almost like I can now relate. You see, now with the ladies, I had to figure out, what does you being pregnant equate for me for a man? So I realized when a lady is pregnant, she's feeling the baby. Me, I am into the future. So I didn't know that until when now I was with the men. I was just like, okay, 1 session is equivalent to 3 months. So you can imagine 2 sessions, how you cover it.
You get really bonded.
So now to answer your story, how the book came about, after doing it with the men for 2 years, I decided to put that content into a book so that we could now work with. Other men could work together. And the book is designed in a way that it teaches you grief literacy. You can read it for information to understand how it has affected you. You can read it to work with other men. At the end of each chapter, it has questions that you can journal to know how you are affected and all. Yeah.
Okay. When do you decide, okay, I'm going to write the book? Because you see, it's one thing to go through the experience, it's another thing to bring people on board, and then it's another thing now to sit down and say, okay.
That's a very good question. So there's this program called Fearless Institute. It is a boot camp.
Okay.
So that boot camp, it's also another 1 year course that for you to graduate that boot camp, you have to write a book. And so it's almost like at the start of the year, you just start with a topic. If you write a book, what is your topic you'll write? I knew from the word go that I'm going to write about loss. So I did that boot camp course, and every month it teaches you how to write a book, because you read 2 books a month, you write a blog, it challenges you to raise finances, it challenges you to speak publicly in front of. So all these things built up into now me writing this book. So it was almost like, if it wasn't for the boot camp, I don't know whether I could have even written the book. But when you put the grief counseling and the boot camp, brought the book together.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll pause up, Lukase. Now let's go back to the real experience of so you guys lost your baby.
Yeah.
And what were the things that were going on that really, stood out and that you can share now that you're comfortable?
Yeah, I think I've been through a journey where I'm comfortable sharing, because it's even in the book.
Yeah, okay.
So one of the things that the experience we went through when we lost the baby, I was surprised when people used to visit my wife and I, and people would call me and ask me, how's your wife doing? Is she okay? Has she eaten? And I was asking myself, at some point after a few weeks and months, I asked myself, who's asking me, how am I doing?
Yeah.
Who's asking me, are you okay? Have you eaten? Like it was almost like, and it's not a bad thing, by the way, for people to find out whether your wife is eating and all. But I have learned that people interpret loss of a child to it's the wife who's been affected. So the men, okay, you should move
Poleni,
on.
lakini now,
Poleni, jikaze,
lakini
you're a
now
man.
my focus is on
The one who's been affected. So I learned that, by the way, we are called the forgotten grievers. So I delegated myself to be the chef whenever people come. I'm the one who used to cook tea and prepare the quick
hosting.
cupcakes or what's it called, bread and sandwich. I'll be in the kitchen, guys there, and I'm just like, they don't know. But that really stood out. And then I learned that we grieve differently as well. So I have my way where I'm feeling like, why doesn't my wife not want to talk about it? Me, I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Kumbe, that's how she's grieving. Me, I want to talk about it. You don't want, I'm just like, okay, I have to figure out who can I talk about it to. It happened, there's the grief counselor and the men that I walked with the grief journey. So that's one of the experiences that I remember.
So are you saying you had to wait a year plus for you to actually openly share your experiences when you got the platform to share?
Oh, so we lost our son in September 19. And then from September to December, that's when I was going through these experiences of I don't know what's happening. Where should I go? That's when I tried. That's when I shopped for counseling. That's when I was also introduced to the grief counselor. And so what happened in that 3-month period, when the grief counselor had a meeting with us, she told us our session is a year long and it starts in January. So in this whole time where I don't know what's happening, people are visiting us, guys are checking on my wife, I don't know what's going through my mind, I'm feeling I can't sleep. It's almost like an organized mess.
Okay.
So I'm going through all these emotions. I don't know what they are. Until next year when I went through the grief counseling, that's when I realized, so that time when my wife didn't want to talk and I was hard on her, it's because I didn't know how she was grieving. So it's almost like I'm putting back the benefit of time and I'm comparing, so when this happened, it's because this grief literacy was not there. So that's what happened during that time.
Okay. And during your experience and having gone through all these things, would you say it's like a generational thing? Is it like a generational thing? Did our fathers have bliss for that? Or do you think now it's just started and going forward? Because why I'm asking this is that I feel like as a generation and where we are headed, we are becoming more
woke.
I don't know.
Informed.
It's like we don't want to express ourselves. It's like we're becoming more and more hardcore.
Okay.
I can do
but
this.
Let me ask you, when you ask me a generational thing, are you talking about the emotions or are you talking about the information? Because what I've had, when my dad visited us during this period of visiting, my dad came with our relatives.
Okay.
That's the time I learned that his mother, my grandmother, in their family, I know there are 13 siblings.
Okay.
So on that visit, that's when I learned that my grandmother lost 2 children.
Oh.
And
that's when the story came out.
That's when the story came out. And for me, there's that generation thing. It's almost like I'm still studying it, but from my findings, our parents' generation were not okay to talk about loss. It was almost like a taboo. So it's almost like when you talk about it, it will happen. So don't talk about it, just shh. So even growing up, you find what happens when someone loses any person in their family and you're a child, you're told to go to the room. It's almost like you'll figure it out. Like you just find guys are there are songs, people are singing, but children go to the room. So it's almost figure it out. You'll know when you grow up, you're not supposed to know about this. And guys will not even talk about.
And yet you're hearing.
And yet you're there.
And yet you're seeing all these
you're
things.
You're seeing the image. You're seeing the person is not there. You're seeing people crying. So in the generation, that's what I realized. Our parents' generation, loss was just like a taboo. Nowadays, we're just like, by the way, guys, I'm here. There are men we worked with. They're just like, but I lost my son. I miss them. I am willing to talk about it. I want to honor my son even in absentia. Like, it's even gone to the point where nowadays, before, I used to introduce myself. When I introduce the family, I used to introduce and say, because now God blessed us with another son 2 years later. So before I used to introduce and say we have one child. But I was feeling a bit of, I'm not doing justice to the son that I actually had before. And then I learned, and this is what even other men learned, the ones who even taught me, that child that you lost, you love them. So when you introduce yourself, say, my name is Lukase. I have 2 children. One is in heaven and one is here. And I am okay with that. Whether you think it's a taboo or not. So whether it's a generation of don't talk about it, break the stereotype, break it.
Because there's been a lot of talk on grief of late that I have noticed. And now nimefika ile age yenye the funerals that I attend, because you know our parents are old and people are losing people, and
You're
there's
not
just a lot.
when you lose someone, because it's almost like death should be spoken about.
But then again, we are not talking about those grief bouts that come, because people are you're going through life, and then you're just hit with all this sadness. You didn't grieve the loss of your friend properly. You didn't grieve the loss of someone properly. But then, sa to do life inaendelea too.
You know, you're right. Because this grief is not even just friend, or you just mentioned something else, and I've realized, you know, the people who grieve the loss of a job. You lost a job and you've never grieved. There are some who lost an opportunity to go to school, like in campus. That's a grief in itself. There's some who lost an opportunity to be a CEO or something. And all these, they come into what you call compound grief. And it affects you, by the way. You find someone, you might have a colleague at work. This person is always moody when you mention something. And in most cases, you find there's a grief that they didn't deal with. And what I've come to learn, when you don't deal with grief, it deals with you. It comes and just shows up in an unexpected way, and be like, you're just like, you didn't deal with it. So whenever you see people progressing, you didn't deal with your lack of progress in life. So you're always out there fighting, and you're just like, why are you fighting? Someone in here and I make it in life. Fight. Imagine that's grief.
Oh, okay, that's profound. That's profound. I've seen a post this morning, now that you've talked about it, and it was very interesting. It said, once in a while, just stop and grieve the life that you thought you would have. You know, the way before life happening, and before life happened, there was a path you were taking, or something that you were working on, and blah, 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 and all those things you said. And then you lose stuff in between, you lose people along the way, and you now have to adapt. And I thought that post was very interesting. Like, just take a pause and cry. You know, that ugly cry.
You've just reminded me of a time that I cried when I remember that I actually lost an opportunity. I used to play football. Professional, as a child.
Oh, nice.
I went to Sweden for Youth World Cup. And then, I knew I was going to go and play in Manchester.
Wow.
So I grieved when I didn't have the opportunity to play professional soccer. So it's almost like what you're talking about, but it's true. Just get to a moment where you realize that dream, I cannot achieve it anymore. And release it. And you know, some men think that when you cry, it's almost like tears, makamasi, and all that. For me, how I cry, I just sit somewhere, I gaze into the sky, and then tears just start flowing. It will be one tear. But that one tear has taken almost an hour, but I've gone through the grieving process. And so it's almost like there's a stereotype of grief doesn't mean cry makamasi. It's almost even writing it down. That's grieving. So you're right. I like that post.
I really liked it, by the way. So men also cry. Let's get into it.
Yes.
First, the topic.
I know.
Of course, Leona, because I've seen this. I think you've posted it on social media. Immediately I saw it as like, there's a program. The rich man cries. Something. There's a program that almost. I remember it was Kitambo. The rich also cry. I am. But there was a soap opera. The rich also cry. I think, if I'm not wrong. And I really like it.
Thank you.
So you can tell us maybe men also cry. Does it sound defensive? Does it sound like a pushback?
Oh.
Because you could have just said,
Yeah.
men crying,
Men
men
cry.
grieving, men. But all the part where you say men also cry, it's
Yeah.
almost like a pushback to the
Okay.
society or to
Okay.
the.
So, one, the title, it's almost like breaking stereotypes.
Okay.
Because the stereotypes is men have emotions. Let me tell you, when you give a man a chance to tell you what they're feeling, they can go for hours more than ladies. Just
To open up?
to open up.
Oh, I thought that it would.
Many men have this thing where, yes, we go to football places and we talk about how your team is bad and all that. But just one day, sit down with a man, I dare you, any man that you know who you're close with, they won't think kuna wakati ya mwanamke to be there. I just want to find out from you, how are you actually? Just ask the man that question. How are you really? That man will be taken aback, and these comments where men will say like, "Hey, I'm good, but work has been a bit tough, but it's okay." I mean, at that point, that man has said something without saying something. That point of work has been tough. There's a whole paragraph there
A whole story
that can
behind that.
actually and reveal a lot. So when I wrote this, it's that aspect of God has given you emotions that are valid. And you downplaying it, it's a way you're even telling God your creation is not perfect. But there's an aspect of men also cry, and it's not tears again at now makamasi as I've said. It's almost like when you talk to this man about how they're feeling, what they're thinking, you have an opportunity to get this man to give you their deepest desires. Wives, I challenge wives to actually ask the men, by the way, just tell me, how have I treated you in the last 1 year? And give an unjudgmental space. This book is just about that aspect of giving that man an opportunity to actually speak. Yeah.
I really like the uniqueness of it because, number one, the issue of child loss has also been, it's not taboo, but there's a shame that has been attached to the fact that people cannot get pregnant.
That's right.
So we've come a long way as a society, number one, just to even talk about the fact that I lost a pregnancy. Not easy. Number one, from like a woman's point of view. And then number two, the fact that now you've included the man in it. Because unakumbuka tuliambiwa, oh, don't air your dirty linen in public, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know why loss of a pregnancy is usually, why does it carry shame? Or people are trying. So couples are trying and therefore they try. Those are so many losses and all that.
I think that shame we have brought it upon ourselves by virtue of, one, we don't know. We don't know that when you lose a child, it is not in your control. Like I learned that the process of having a child involves 4 miracles. The first miracle is conceiving. Like there are couples who try to get children for years. I mean, any couple can just have sex and it's not upon you to decide whether they'll get a baby. So the first miracle is the couple conceiving. The second miracle is the couple, that baby being
to term. Being carried to term.
The third miracle is giving birth.
Yeah.
Because the children who don't come out. And then the last miracle is that baby being sustainable for the first at least 1 year.
Yeah.
Because parents experience what you call sudden infant death. So by the time you get a child, you've gone through all these miracles. I'm just like, by the way, break that stereotype. If you lose a child, it is in God's control. It's not in your control.
Yeah. So you wrote, and what I like is that how you've named the chapters. So let me just brush through. I won't read all of them. So chapter 1 is Daddy's Voices, meaning you didn't only write your experience.
Exactly.
You picked, experiences from
the men that I worked with. I just asked them to share their experiences and how did they feel after their loss, and they put in their raw emotions there for how they felt. There's a parent who felt like the hospital did not give them answers, and they're still bitter until today. And that's an experience where hospitals, the doctors need to be educated. When a parent loses a child, don't tell them that you will get another and go try again. So it's almost like be compassionate. So those are experiences of Daddy's Voices, of just sharing. This is how I felt. Raw and I just copy pasted. I didn't even rewrite what they said.
I like.
They told me this. That's daddy's voices. Yeah.
Wow. The parent who needed a parent?
The parent who needed a parent. It's I realized that when I lost my son, I was a child.
Oh.
And I actually needed a parent.
Yeah.
And that's the first correspondence who came to the hospital that day. My dad, my pastor, my brother, and my friends. At that point, I just needed my dad to just say something.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I need a parent at that point. So it's when a parent loses a child, they forget actually that strong ability of their thinking about
It's like,
problem solving. That is a child now.
wow.
Yeah.
I've asked the daddy brain.
Daddy brain. That's one of my favorite chapters. So remember I mentioned that we went through grief counseling with the ladies. And then when the ladies were experiencing the child in their tummy, as a father, my brain was going into the future. And so daddy brain, it's almost like all those yearnings that I had for my son, the things I'm a motorcycle rider. So I desired to teach this boy about sex, about riding motorbike, about their first girlfriend, about going to school.
Yeah.
All that daddy brain, it's there. It teaches you what do you do with all these thoughts. And also for the men, what are your daddy brains? What are those things that you're doing? So it's like, this mommy brain. Mommy brain is that experience, but now there's also daddy brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just read the rest, just to mention the rest of the chapters. There's the room grief moved into, there's the grief in four tones, there's the grief is not the enemy, blessed are those who mourn, turning pain into tribute, and you are not alone. It almost sounds like this book is not only like a personal thing that I'll read and put down, like it's almost like a manual.
Exactly.
Like you'll read and you'll want to walk. You said it's very practical.
Yes, it's very practical that a parent can actually read it for their own literacy to understand how it has affected them. You can read it to work with other parents who've gone through loss. Pastors and men of God can read it to know how to talk to parents in the first correspondence. Medical practitioners can read it to understand how to be compassionate. People who have not even gone through grief, and someone who's gone through grief, you can read it to understand how to deal with them. And mostly, wives. If you want to know what your man is thinking, this will help you. To understand, this man actually loves you, but what they're going through, you're not the problem. It's him dealing with his own loss. And that's what it will give you context.
And almost the last question, Lukase. Is it only for parents who've lost kids? Could you say that the lessons that are picked here could apply to other forms of grief that we found ourselves talking about, even,
You're right. It's not only for parents who've gone through grief. It's for anyone who, if you've ever lost anything in life, whether a job opportunity, whether an experience that you'd have desired, anything that you've ever lost in life, those are what you call secondary losses. So all those are grief, and this helps you to know. Grief is universal. There's no language that will be able to say, when you look at you, how you're grieving, that's a child loss. So another person, it's a parent, another it's a job. So grief is a universal language where this helps you to understand, how do I deal with grief in its general form.
Yeah. I really like that. So your parting shot, before I say other things, and then you can also tell us where to get the book.
So I think my parting shot is, when a parent loses a child, or when you've gone through any loss, that loss is not invalidated. You love that child. So do what you can to honor that child. If it means planting a tree, if it means having a yearly retreat, there's something about that child that you can actually do and say, I'm doing this act to honor that child. And that child is actually loved, and don't downplay that grief, because there's something you actually wanted that child. So, and you can get the book at Nuria bookstore. You can also follow me on the social media pages, Lukase Libs on Instagram, Lukase Libamira on Facebook. And I'll also give you my number. If you can put it on the screen, I can be able to give it as well. But also in Mavuno Lavington, when you go to the Mavuno's church spaces, you can also get your book there.
Oh, nice. How much?
The book goes for 1,500.
Oh, 1,500
Yeah.
only, guys. So
Only
please
1,500.
support our authors.
Thank
Imagine. Congratulations, Lukase.
Thank you.
And maybe just the last thing. I was telling these guys that I've read this book. This was my reading. I'm actually reading it. I'm reading it very slowly because it's quite a heavy book. It's called Dust, Yvonne Adhiambo Award. And it's just talking about it's also actually also talking about loss.
Oh, really?
Yes, Northern Kenya loss, and it's telling a little bit about the Kenyan history. During way back when, before when the colonialists was just coming. So it's a very interesting book, and then it's like a lot of poems within a story. So we are reading poems are making sentences that are telling a story.
Oh, wow.
So it's quite heavy. I know, I'm sure people don't know her,
Yeah.
but she's the GOAT. She's the GOT
Hey.
of Yaki. For real. She's a
Okay.
really, she's won awards.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
She's a Kenyan who's won awards and grief-stricken father, you see.
Oh.
Apparently, and I didn't even...
You should connect me to that. I
You
should
know,
look for them
right?
when we partner.
You should actually. Yeah, so it not like we planned, but see how things work. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned something. Share this episode, like, comment, let us know your thoughts, and let us know whether you have learned anything. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.